Greetings and welcome to Heart Expressions with Barbara. I have as my special guest today Tiah McKinney of the McKinney Foundation. Tiah, it's so good to have you on the show today.
Thank you, Barbara, for inviting me. I am so excited to be here.
I met Tiah at a Women Who's Inspire. She was on a panel and she was just had so much information and so just full of inspiration. And I wanted to have you on the show today to share with our audience all the wonderful things that you're doing at the McKinney Foundation.
Well, thank you so much, Barbara. I am very just humbled that you invited me to your show. You quite accomplished yourself, so thank you very much for those kind words.
Well, thank you. Tiah has done so much in the community and so much with the foundation. She's going to be talking a lot today about the foundation, but I kind of want to tell you how important Tiah is today. She is co-founder and executive director of the McKinney Foundation, and she also has had numerous awards and distinctions, including the 2014 and 15 Southern Regional Educational Board dissertation fellow. Wow.
Oh, goodness.
And I think I'm just going to let you say all these wonderful things about your achievements. I'll let you get to that. But I want to start with helping our audience understand what the McKinney Foundation is all about.
Barbara, thank you. First of all, the McKinney Foundation is a labor of love. Mm-hmm. It is a Detroit-based nonprofit, founded in 2010, and it is formed.
Wow.
Our mission is focusing on strengthening Metro Detroit by reinvesting in our most important asset, and that's our people. That's our youth.
Yes.
It's not buildings, it's not roads, it's not infrastructure, it is people. And we do that in 3 ways. So our 3 pillars are quality educational programs that promote healthy living, entrepreneurship, and environmental responsibility. So with that, we have been up and running for 5 years. Our focus has been on health because as an educator, as a mother, as an aunt, as a citizen, I know that health is foundational. And you really don't have much unless you have your health.
Exactly. You don't feel good, you can't do well. And our youth today really need what you're providing because we actually see the obesity in our young people. It's no way to say it nicely. It's just that some of them, and you just hate to see them, in that.
You hit the head on the nail because I tell you, when we first looked at just Detroit, when we first started back in 2010, you remember the economic downturn for the United States hit first in Detroit in 2007, 2008. Oh gosh, we were in a bad state. So when we started the McKinney Foundation in 2010, we were still in the throes of that. So with our 3 pillars, we had health, entrepreneurship, and environment to responsibility. So we thought, where do we start? So we naturally thought we were going to start with the entrepreneurship because we had double-digit unemployment. We were leading the nation in foreclosure. So we thought that was a natural place to start. However, we came across some very compelling research that talked about health. And I've spent 18 plus years as an educator. So I know the impacts of health. I know its process. You don't all of a sudden just get a person who's ready for a job.
Right.
There's a process that goes into that, and it's health. So we came across Michigan Department of Education, Michigan Department of Community Health put together their report called Color Me Healthy, which in that time they talked about Michigan's profile of their ethnic groups, white, black, people of Arab ancestry, Asian, African American, and they talked about the disproportional impact of disease that were felt by certain groups. And it was compelling. When you look at African American infant mortality, it's almost triple that of Caucasian. When you look at the fact that our African American men don't live to 65 because of the violence and HIV, cardiovascular, heart attacks, strokes, injuries, etc.
And Excuse me, and they don't tend to go to the doctor.
That's right.
I have a son that I have to
That's
make go to the
right.
doctor.
That was right.
It's like, hello.
Yes. So there was an eye opener for us. So instead of doing the entrepreneurship, I did what we knew that we were supposed to do and start with the foundation. We have to start with the individual. And we have to really inform and provide them with information that empowers them.
Exactly. Because if you really don't feel good, if you're not, you can't perform
No.
at your optimum.
No.
If you don't feel good.
No. And I'll tell you what's more. Because health is so multi-dimensional,
Yes.
it's not just what we eat. It's not just our physical activity. Yes, it's just mind. It's emotional.
Yes,
It
yes.
is social. It's behavioral. It's your thoughts, your attitude, your action, and it is spiritual.
Yes, it is.
And fiscal, financial. So all of those components comprise health.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You know, we talked a little bit about entrepreneurship because I really feel that if we can get our young people today to get into the whole mindset of entrepreneurship, that they don't have to depend on a job
That's
for
right.
30 years.
That's right.
Or not. And today you don't even get a chance to have a job
That's right.
in one place for 30 years.
That's right.
So that is just awesome.
Yes. So we focus on the health. And for the last 5 years, we've been developing original, what we call our signature programs. And we launched our first public program within 6 months. So Celebrating a Healthier Detroit launched in August 28th of 2010, 6 months after we formed. And even though we're 5 years this year, we're celebrating our 6th annual.
Wow.
We're excited about
That's
it.
awesome. That's awesome. Well, Tiah is a very smart young lady as well. She has a BA in Marine Affairs.
That's right.
I want you to explain this marine biology and business administration. And she's currently working her doctorate. Share about that and your passion that I felt when I first met you about that.
Well, I'm telling you, my family is all about education. I'm a third generation educator. And education was a priority in our household. And it was not an option. We just knew that we were going to go to college. Not an option if or when, but that we were. So I'm a lifelong learner. And I started off my bachelor's, a dual degree from the University of Miami. And it's funny because I'm a daddy's girl.
Okay.
Do you know Daddy followed me down to University of Miami? Daddy sat in the chair at the advisors. I'm supposed to be in that chair, but Daddy's in that chair. He'd already previewed the bulletin, looked through everything and said, you know what about this Marine Affairs? So I cannot say that I selected Marine Affairs. Okay,
Like,
that was Papa David. So
But
he put that input. University of Miami was known for many things and was definitely top in its marine biology program. So he, in his ultimate wisdom, said, Tiah, you know, I know you want to be a doctor, because at that time I wanted to be a doctor. My father was a doctor. He said, you need something to set yourself apart. There's going to be a slew of biology and chemistry majors. All you need are the prerequisite for that degree to get in. So I said, okay. So he got me thinking, capture what is the best of this school, make sure you hit your marks so that when you are ready for med school, you are there, you have all the coursework, but now you set yourself, you distinguished yourself. So he distinguished myself.
Awesome.
So that was David. That was my dad.
That's great. That's great. And your doctorate is going to be dealing specifically with?
Well, I mentioned that I'm a third generation
educator.
My grandmother, my aunt, and then me. So I actually, you know, one thing about doing your dissertation, it really is a labor of love.
Yes,
it's a journey.
And it happen overnight?
Oh, no, it doesn't. It is a labor. So you want to do something that is meaningful and impactful to you. So you draw from your personal and your professional experiences when you do it well.
Yes.
Because you're going to deal with this subject for a lifelong time. So you don't want anything that you don't quite know or don't quite feel or aren't attached to. You want something that you're motivated on. And as an educator, I loved being in the classroom. I loved my kids. I learned more from them as they learned from me. And I saw things that I wanted to help remove, the barriers. The barriers to learning. Because these kids in the classroom were smart, they were bright, they were funny. Oh, so when I saw different things that they would come in that were beyond my control. Because as a young person that was teaching, I wanted to be steeped in my knowledge, I wanted to be well prepared, and I wanted my classroom to be as resourceful as possible. So I would write grants to bring things in, and sometimes use my money to provide things for the classroom.
I hear a lot of teachers talking about that. They
Well,
would actually use their own money.
You do, because teaching is, there's a love there. You see the kids and you want to make sure that they've got everything they need to be able to be who they're meant to be. Okay, you don't want the kids shortchanged.
Right.
So you do those things. So with that, I saw the kids coming in with barriers that were beyond my control. So I actually got the idea for it in my experiences as a classroom practitioner, and I integrated it into my research. So so just getting to the point, my specialization is education policy, because I wanted the work that I do to impact policy. And then my secondary is on the nonprofit management, because that's the hat I'm wearing currently. Excellent, and I want to be steeped in that. So the topic that I'm researching and will be writing on is closing the gap.
Closing the gap.
Successful public-private partnerships that reduce health disparity and improve educational outcomes in African American youth.
Awesome.
Thank you.
A question just sort of popped in my head as I hear your passion, I see your involvement, and then wanting to do something. Do you feel that teachers sometimes just kind of become complacent, but they can't make a big change? Do you feel that some of the passion gets lost over time? Well, what do you attribute that
Well,
to?
let me say this. Anytime you do something long, and it is not an easy job, and especially the context, if you're in a school district or a school that's particularly resource-strapped or maybe short-staffed, that can wear on you as a professional, as an educator. So, yes. So I recommend, just from my own experience, you have to jumpstart yourself. Being among an association, a professional association of teachers, really help you to get ideas, to talk with respected colleagues, that you're able to share not only your successes and strategies, but also share the low points too.
Yes.
And you can get a different perspective. I would always challenge myself. If I wasn't teaching summer school, I would go out for professional development, and I would make it an experiential learning, meaning that I would want to go for professional development that was outside of the state of Michigan. I went to Florida to their coastal ecology program.
Wow.
I went to Minnesota. I went to somewhere else. And you're in a new environment. You're around additional teachers. And
To sort of keep that passion
keep
alive.
that passion alive.
Yes.
You have to feed it. I'd love the experiential trips, because they would almost be like a vacation, but a learning experience. And I love learning.
Yes.
I really do have a passion for that.
And I think the greatest challenge that a teacher has or an educator has is implanting or imparting that into the students and other educators around you, because sometimes it does get lost.
Yeah, it can become a very negative place. Okay? So a few things that come to mind when I said that. I would, regardless of the school, okay, climate, I knew that my classroom, I wanted to cultivate an atmosphere of excellence, of nurturing, making this a space where it was safe to learn. You follow me? And there's a way that you do this, the process that you do. You just don't dive into the curriculum. I stood outside my door. I knew everyone's name. I shook their hand. I looked them in the eye. I smiled. I greeted them, because I wanted them to know, I'm your teacher. I see you. I make it a point to know your name that first day or two. And, you know, this is going to be a classroom that is going to be not only something that you're going to enjoy learning, but we're going to create the atmosphere together. So we would definitely focus on that. And then another point that I did is reach out to my parents. I would have a session with the parents, as many as I could, prior to the school year going on. I would have a newsletter, and I know this is a lot of work, a newsletter that would go out quarterly or more to the parents, so they know here's your semester at a glance, and this is what you're going to prepare for. Different field trips, different if there were different major assignments like projects, so the parents would be informed. They would kind of know the flow of the curriculum.
How do we have parents? Because I think parents of today, and correct me if my assumption is wrong, the parents of today are not like the parents of yesterday. And how do you keep the spirit alive when you've got a young mother, maybe the head of household, she's working 2 jobs, she's barely making it? Because what you see in the child, when that child walks into the classroom, you can just about see what the atmosphere is at home.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
How do you bridge that gap? And what is the McKinney Foundation? I want you to talk more about what should I see in 2016, 17, 18 from the McKinney Foundation?
Okay, so let me go back to your first question.
Yeah, I did have 2 questions.
So let me go to your first question. So being an educator, I knew, and I think the same exists today. We're in a very complex society. There's a lot going on, you know, and people are not all at the same levels in terms of their learning, in terms of who they are meant to be, and in terms of their job, in terms of their income. All of that stuff is evolving, okay? And our parents perhaps may be younger than it was. Our parents, by and large, may be single, head of households, and that's a little different than it was before. However, there's still a love for their kid, all right? And I meet the parent where they are, like I meet the child. And I would ask, making sure I inform them of who I was, but I would ask them to make sure that child comes to school. Comes to school. Because any teacher knows that seat time is important. It's valuable. Your seat time, you being in that seat, listening and ready to learn. Okay? So that's where I also, because if the child is absent, there's nothing you can do.
Right.
All right, but if they're there, you can at least provide their meal. You could at least provide what they need in order to really be engaged. Once that atmosphere, once that child knows that you care about them, once that parent knows that you care. Another thing that I did in school, and I know we're talking a lot about this, but I would, have my cell phone. I would have every kid's name and phone number in that cell. Because I was not sending my kid to the office if there was a problem. I was dealing with it in certain ways. And if it escalated to the point that I had to call home, I'm calling home. Once the kids are getting their thing, I'm taking that child up, I'm calling home, and I'm having a conversation right then and there from my cell.
Because mother may not even know that the child didn't come to school.
Absolutely. So I think it's understanding the students you have, understanding the neighborhood, understanding, getting to know the parent, not making assumptions about it, and helping them work as a team with you to secure and support that child's learning.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay?
That's awesome. And the McKinney Foundation, I was so impressed with what you shared on the panel that I said,
Thank
my
you.
goodness, there's just so much going on.
Oh, thank you.
Really, and I wanted our audience to just hear what you're doing at the McKinney Foundation, because I think health caught me out, but the entrepreneurship, because that's really kind of my mindset. I wish 20 years ago I had gotten into that realm of entrepreneurship, because I think it is the future for us in terms of job security.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start off with the health piece and bring us up to where we are. Because I started off saying that the McKinney Foundation formed in 2010. And we were passionate about what we did. We, were very much evidence-based, research-based in what we did. We thought because of the climate we were going to do the entrepreneurship, but then we said, oh, wait, did you see this report? Okay, we got a problem here. Health is
It's crucial.
It's critical. It is essential. It's not an extra or an add-on or nice to do. It is required. So we conceptualized and developed and launched what we thought would be what is needed in this day and age, especially in light of the social determinants of health, which is not necessarily biological, but societal. You know, where you're born, where you grow up, where you work, your access or not to adequate health care.
Right.
And I say access to quality education as well. So all of those are factors in how long you live, your life expectancy. Believe it or not, we can tell your life expectancy by the zip code that you grew up.
Wow.
That's shocking when you
It
can tell a
is.
child's lifespan just by the zip code that they're growing up in. You can tell, you can kind of project. So that disturbed us. And that was our call to action. So we said, hold on, okay. We read the report, it said that, improvement is possible. Well, how is it possible? Providing education, providing awareness, and providing the resources and connecting people to those resources that they can be empowered with to now know and use. Because it's one thing when people are ignorant, meaning that they just don't know. We're not talking about anyone, they just don't know. They continue to do what they know to do. However, when you inform people and you give them a reason, well, this is how it's going to benefit you. This is how it's going to bring you the changes that you desire, that you're not getting currently from the results. Then it motivates them to go, oh, wait a minute, let me take a look at this. So it's knowledge that's going to be beneficial to allowing them to see and to achieve a healthy, sustainable lifestyle. So we conceptualized that. It became our Celebrating a Healthier Detroit.
Okay.
It's a full day. We like to refer to it as a fun-filled day with a serious purpose.
Oh, wow.
Because there's a lot of thought that goes into this.
And work.
And work. So we focus in on, the two key determinants of a healthy weight, which is what you eat and your physical activity. However, we have our speakers and our health screenings, so they have access to the medical and health care.
That's awesome.
And the speakers speaking about some very meaningful topics that I think they're going to be germane to what people need, but also interest people. And then, of course, it's fun. It's a celebration. So we have music, we have live entertainment, and we showcase our Michigan talent, which is the best in the world.
Wow. Absolutely.
So there's a lot of things for people of all ages. And it's free.
Can't beat that.
So if I could tell you, the 6th annual is going to be, it's a little different from what we've done before in the previous 5 years.
And it's going to be?
Oh yeah, it's going to be on a Wednesday this year. It's Wednesday, August the 5th.
Okay.
It's going to be not at Belle Isle, it's going to be at William G. Milliken State Park in Harbor.
Okay.
And that is in the 48207. Right there on anchoring the Detroit Riverwalk.
Okay.
Right on the banks of the Detroit River.
Okay.
Beautiful, right between the Renaissance Center and Shane Park. That gorgeous park that maybe people don't know, that's changed. It used to be Elizabeth Park, now it's Milliken State Park.
Okay.
And our theme has broadened. We were focused on the eliminating child obesity and diet-based disease. Now we've broadened it because we know that we have to get to people's thoughts. Attitudes, and actions. So it's building a culture of health equity.
Wonderful. And that's August
5th, Wednesday, August 5th.
It's an all-day affair?
Yep, from 11 to 5.
11 to 5,
It's completely free. However, in the morning time, we have done a new activity because we didn't want to lose the theme of eliminating obesity, child obesity. So we have a family fun run.
Really?
And it's an untimed run, so we don't want people racing for a mile. It's a 1 mile. It's going to be around the beautiful scenic view of Milliken State Park. Okay. That has a registration fee, but it's very modest. And we are doing that in the morning from 9 to 11. Okay. Our celebrity grand marshal is Hooper from the Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
Right. So it's going to be beautiful. And, yes, and we ask that people please join that because that really gets into the theme, which is stomping out childhood obesity together in a family way. You're exercising. Walk it. Jog it. If you want to run it, fine. But it's a
But,
one
you know,
mile.
and the benefits of exercise,
Yes.
you just feel so much better.
Oh, God.
It's healthy.
Yes.
And
But
lose
your
a little weight.
mood,
Yes,
your mood is
yes.
enhanced.
Mhm.
You know, there's all this research around your
Mhm.
mood enhancement, and it helps you to really focus and concentrate. And people think that's one and the same, but focusing on something, sustained focus takes stamina. Okay, but concentrating on something that's very difficult is a totally different thing.
Absolutely.
With your exercise, it helps build that mental stamina and improves that mood.
Absolutely.
So I mean, there's
There's
multiple
many
benefits.
benefits. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other part is the entrepreneurship.
Sure. Oh, yeah. We're gonna get to you. We're gonna get to the entrepreneurship.
I guess it's just my passion. And then the other one is environmental responsibility.
Okay. So hate to do this to you again. Before we get there,
Okay.
we launched, in addition to our annual event, we launched a portable and accessible program in 2012 because we really saw what you saw. There was a upward trend in obesity, childhood obesity. Was a problem, which really causing a lot of these diet-based diseases, cancer, sleep apnea, stroke, pre-diabetes in our 12-year-olds. So there was a problem. So we launched, we couldn't just have one program. We launched portable, accessible. We launched it in grocery stores in 2012. We kicked off our campaign to eliminate childhood obesity. I know that's audacious, but that's how we are. And we expanded it because we liked it so much. We expanded into recreation centers and then neighborhood clubs.
Hey, that is awesome.
And then last year we redesigned it and we launched right into schools. And we have 7 partner schools. So we've been busy.
Awesome.
We've been busy.
I see. Celebrating a healthy Detroit.
Yes.
Can't get any better than that.
No. I think with health, you're really putting people first. You're building the foundation for good citizenry. You're building the foundation for smart students. You're building the foundation for productive employees,
They
workforce.
won't be out sick as much.
No.
That's,
No.
I'm 20 years old.
So let me tell you, entrepreneurship is where we are. We're in the information age. We're not in the industrial age anymore. Knowledge and information is key, but the right knowledge and the right information is key. We have to understand we're not in the same economic climate that we were when our parents were coming up. So getting a job and keeping a job for 20, 30 years, retiring it, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
You will have between 13 plus jobs in this climate right now. There's also some train of thought with talent wars, okay? There's going to be talent wars. Those individuals that can be significant change agents that can project and propel an organization forward. There's going to be scarce and far in between. So being an entrepreneur, micro enterprise, micro entrepreneur, social entrepreneurship, all of that right now is where we're in. It's not just about finding a job and keeping a job. That's fine.
It's
But
fine if
that's
you
fine.
can find a
That's
job and
fine.
keep a job for more than 10 years.
But there's secondary, tertiary
Secondary.
income. There's multiple revenue
Streams.
streams. Okay, I think that we need to be understanding the climate that we're in. We need to understand where are the gaps in services. We need to understand what's happening and how and where our expertise should be developed and can be used and applied. And that's a process of not only just looking at the trends, but also really being very good in understanding what talent and strengths you have naturally, what have you cultivated as a professional, and as a young person looking at this, you have a very good eye.
Very good.
Yeah, and you have a very good view because right now there's social media and there's mediums that are available to you that weren't there before.
I mean, you can get information across the world,
Yes.
not just the United States, but the world.
It makes what they call the world flat. Because you don't have those barriers in terms of communication, in terms of learning, in terms of accessing knowledge. However, there is another level you need to be very discriminating about how you use and how you seek knowledge and what knowledge is valid and what is not. But I think that our young people are in a very good position.
Good
but
position.
We need to.
But they need to be taught.
Yes.
They need to be educated.
Yes. And facilitate their success. And the mentorships are key. Mentorships are key. And partnerships,
Yes.
which are a form of mentorship, are very key.
Yes.
So although the McKinney Foundation hasn't officially launched our entrepreneurship pillar, nor our environmental responsibility pillar, these are the concepts and these are the ideas that we're thinking of as a committee, looking at, okay, how do we want our entrepreneurship programs to look? What should they build on? Understanding the atmosphere, understanding the current climate that we're in and where we're going. Where we're going, projected where we're going, as well as how can we build on the current partnerships that we have, the relationships that we have, how can we leverage that in order to naturally roll the entrepreneurship out, okay? But we're thinking about, and our demographics are young people.
Yes.
We want that 11, 12-year-old up to that 35, 40-year-old. Okay.
11, 12-year-old.
Okay. We want to go into schools, micro enterprise. Absolutely. You got some smart, talented kids that have abilities, and we want to make sure that they're challenged, and we want to make sure that we facilitate their growth, and they're thinking on the line of community service, entrepreneurship, micro enterprise, social enterprise. Financial literacy. These are 21st century concepts. How are they going to leverage their access to all of this computer electronics? How they leverage that and access and utilize what they know and they're curious about in a way that's going to generate revenue and multiple revenue streams for them?
Because a 10 and 12-year-old can manipulate a computer a whole lot better than some of us.
You got it. You got it.
I mean, really,
you got it.
They have the edge on that.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. However, I think there's a beautiful opportunity. There's an intergenerational piece with our folks that are doing it, making it happen right now to help bridge that.
Bridge that gap. Awesome.
In a way that'd be meaningful.
Yeah, you're just doing an awesome work. So,
thank you, Barbra.
We talked about several things, and I just wanted to, and you're a 501(c)(3).
Yeah, 501(c)(3). We
take
are
donations.
a public charity.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Every donation that we receive is 100% tax deductible, as well as I think that people should take pride and will be taking pride. And the money that they contribute, they can see the improvement locally. They can see it right there in Detroit, in Metro Detroit. It's happening. We're making changes. They're able to see the difference.
Okay. Well, let our audience know how they can get in touch with you if they have $1 million they want to donate.
Oh, absolutely. If you've got $1 million, lay it around. You can definitely log into our website, www.mckinneyfoundation.org. I'll say that again, www.mckinneyfoundation.org. You can also contact us at 313-475-8774, or you can log on to any of our social media. So we have the Facebook and the LinkedIn and the Twitter, and we even have Instagram.
All right.
So we are fully socially equipped.
That is awesome.
Thank you for that.
Well, from the first time I met you and I heard your passion and all the things that you were doing that I wasn't aware of, I have to confess. I wasn't aware of, and I wanted to have you on the show.
Well, I'm so happy you did.
Yes, because you're doing a lot of wonderful things for our young people.
Oh, I think
and it's so desperately needed.
I appreciate it. And I tell you, it's interesting that the PhD that I'm working on, the research that I'm doing for the PhD really helps to inform the practice and the programs, and influences the partnerships that we seek after, because there is a method to our madness.
Yes.
And it's very much evidence-based. We believe that the problem is so huge, we can't go it alone. So partnerships are 21st century way of problem solving, and leveraging each and everyone's not only strengths but networks, so that you can do what it is that you are missioned to do, but you have a greater impact. And so
you're just doing the work.
This
great work.
This relationship that we started is important, because it helps to disseminate this what's doing.
When you're doing
what we're
something
doing.
for the now generation, is going to be able to do great things in the future.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Tiah, it's just been fantastic.
Thank you
And
so
I'm just so
much.
happy to have you on the show today. And if you want to get in touch with Tiah with the foundation, she's giving you her website and her phone number, and she's doing a great work. And anybody want to give a donation of $1 million plus, I'm sure your monies will be utilized appropriately.
Definitely well spent.
And so, thank you so much. This is Heart Expression with Barbara. We'll see you all next time.